goes a clip of someone that's gotten a whole lot of criticism. And I'm trying to understand what the purpose of this clip was. The person's name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You may have heard of her. She's kind of popular in the middle, and she's despised and hated on the right. And she's also hated by libertarians. I don't know what these people are. I don't know. Someone said people that can read. People that actually listen to what she says. Okay, so I have issues with AOC on certain regards too. Let's talk about this, Johnson. Can we talk about this?
Moment. And it's just really wild to be a person that works in a corrupt institution, which is what Congress is. And to try and be a normal person surrounded by so much decay and moral emptiness that frankly transcends moment. And
Sorry, folks, let me get this
just
going.
really wild to be a person that works in a corrupt institution, which is what Congress is. And to try and be a normal person surrounded by so much decay and moral emptiness that frankly transcends party is very difficult. I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning last night.
Because she says Congress is corrupt. I like that. And I don't like the corruption, but I like that she's saying Congress is corrupt. I tell people Congress is corrupt. They want to start attacking me. No, it is. That's what the money's for. It's for corruption. That's why people give you money. People give all this money to candidates, special interest groups, to their campaigns, for them to do certain things that benefit those corporations and special interest groups. That's what corruption is. Okay? But she goes a step farther here. She says she is surrounded by decay and moral emptiness. I'm like, wow. She is surrounded by decay and moral emptiness. And she said, hey, even further, Johnson, she said that transcends parties. Are you listening to what she's saying? She's saying the moral decay, the moral emptiness, the decay, the corruption. It ain't just Republicans, it's Democrats too. That's what she's telling you. It's the system, it's both parties. Two wings, same bird. Left wing, right wing. As Dr. Cornell West would say, we got two wings on the same bird, Johnson. Oh, my brother Black, I'm trying to tell you that the ineptitude of the two-party system, the garbage of the two-party system, the decay, the more decay in the fiber of the being of the person is what B.B. King would say. Oh, Desmond, oh, Josephine, oh, he had a guitar, named that guitar, Joseph Rockabye, baby, and when Bootsy Collins plays, and then we got the moral decay, we say, oh, Prince of the Revolution, we need a revolution like we never had before. Oh, when he released Purple Rain, the rain of the power would rain down, and people would understand that the Democratic and Republican parties are. So AOC is calling it out correctly. And I appreciate her honesty here. In fact, we need more politicians willing to say, our system is shit. Both parties suck, Johnson. There's a moral decay, and moral emptiness in the decay that transcends parties. And then I was thinking, okay, this is great, you're on point. Why are you there? Why are you there? Unless you're going to be a poison pill for the system, why are you there? What's the purpose of you being in there? If you were in this situation And you know there's no morals, there's no ethics, that it is corrupt, that it is slithering and garbage, that it is nonsense, it's foul. It's not fighting for the people, it's fighting for money. Put the money in the pockets, go take the trip to Aruba. That's what it is. Or buy the big car, buy the Bentley, or play the stocks. You know how much money in stocks? You know, Nancy Pelosi's husband bought $2 million worth of Facebook stock. This is what's happening. But if you know all this, what you gonna do about it? And at the end of the day, if you're not gonna do anything about it, you're worse than somebody who doesn't know. You're saying, hey, this is horrible. Our jobs are horrible. Pushing the old lady down the steps is a job, and it's a horrible job to do. It's disgusting. I can't believe I'm doing this job. And then you keep doing the job. Folks, I'm saying, you don't get cool points. How are you making the system change if all you do is point at it? Now, I know that's all I can do. That's all I can do in this position. Point at it, bring people on, interview people, talk about it, expose it. That's important. That's important. But when you become an elected official, who is one of the most popular politicians on the planet, okay, in America, because I don't know about the planet, one of the most popular politicians in America who has a platform so large that you could draw millions of people just to a live stream, you can create your own movement, so to speak. So, my problem with AOC is not what she said. What she said is true. There is a moral decline. There is a moral emptiness. There's always been a moral emptiness. That's the other thing. Don't come to me talking as if this is new shit. All of a sudden, the Democrats and Republicans are taking money from they've been taking money from special interest groups. All of a sudden, the cops are shooting black people in the streets. They've been shooting each other they've been shooting blacks in the streets. All of a sudden, so I have more AOC. I don't really feel a need to go further with it. She goes into guns. She starts talking about guns, and that's really what she's talking about. The inability of America for Congress to pass legislation that will make stricter gun laws, for gun reform. We can't have gun reform, see, we got problems. If we can't have gun reform, that exposes the corruption of the country. It's horrific that we have these problems, and yada, 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 yada. Which I agree, it does expose the obvious. The obvious. But you guys didn't see the exposure when we couldn't get homeless people indoors? When black people didn't get the Homestead Act? When black people didn't get the GI Bill? When the black couple got on and said, in order for us to get a fair appraisal on our home, we had to act like white people owned it instead of us. You didn't think there was a moral emptiness then? No, it takes babies getting shot in the school for you to go, oh man, it looks like moral emptiness. Hard for me to take that very serious. Hard for me to, don't get me wrong, I understand and I respect anybody who's calling it out for what it is. It's an atrocious, horrific, hellish act. And our hearts are broken as we can only imagine this type of grief that these parents and friends and neighbors and spouses are going through. But let's not fool ourselves. If you're a politician and you work in D.C., hell, I worked in D.C. for the last 20 years. I wasn't a politician, and I knew it was corrupt. the hell you been? That's why you were supposed to go there, to fight the corruption. That was the whole point of your race. That's why you raised the money. That's why you had the support. And now it's like, oh. So today, Matthew McConaughey was at the White House. The actor Matthew McConaughey was at the White House, and he gave a speech. He also didn't know that guns are bad for some reason. He doesn't know that guns are bad and that America's violent and things are horrible. Here's Matthew McConaughey realizing he lives in America.
Moment. And
met Anna and Danilo, the mom and the stepdad of 9-year-old Maite Rodriguez. And Maite wanted to be a marine biologist. She was already in contact with Corpus Christi University of A&M for her future college enrollment. 9 years old. Maite cared for the environment so strongly that when the city asked her mother if they could release some balloons into the sky, in her memory, her mom said, oh no, Maite wouldn't want to litter. Maite wore green high-top Converse with a heart she had hand-drawn on the right toe because they represented her love of nature. Camilla's got these shoes. Can you show these shoes, please? Wore these every day. Green Converse with a heart on the right toe. These are the same green Converse on her feet that turned out to be the only clear evidence that could identify her after the shooting. How about that? Maite wrote a letter. Her mom said if Maite's letter could help someone accomplish her dream, that then her death would have an impact. And it would mean her dying had a point and wasn't pointless. That it would make the loss of her life matter. The letter reads, Marine biologist, I want to pass school to get to my dream college. My dream college is in Corpus Christi by the ocean. I need to live next to the ocean because I want to be a marine biologist. Marine biologists study animals and the water. Most of the time I will be in a lab. Sometimes I will be on TV.
Okay.
We start by giving Maite a chance to become a marine biologist. Start by giving Ellie a chance to read her Bible verse at the Wednesday night service. Start by giving Irma and Joe a chance to finish painting their house. Maybe retire, get that food truck. We start by giving McKenna, Layla, Miranda, Nevaeh, Jose, Javier, Tess, Rogelio, Eliana, Annabelle, Jackie, Azuya, JC, Jayla, Ava, Amory, and Lexi. We start by giving all of them our promise that their dreams are not going to be forgotten. We start by making the loss of these lives matter. Thank you. Thank you.
That was tough to listen to. Yeah, that was tough to listen to, John. So I'm not gonna BS you one bit here. Matthew McConaughey is a very effective speaker. We love the speaking ability. And someone who talks for a living, such as I, would be a hypocrite if I said that's not important. I mean, I strive to be a good speaker as well. I want to communicate a feeling, have it resonate. It's my job. And of course, the subject matter is important. Matthew McConaughey is talking about children whose lives were snatched, whose lives were taken away from them by a gunman. So this is horrible shit. And we're going to get in a little bit later. We're going to talk about AR-15s, because I got a question I want to ask you about AR-15s. And I want you to be honest. Honest. But the thing about Matthew McConaughey and AOC, that's what the subject of her rant was as well, was about the children of Uvalde. And I'm just saying, I covered recently a shooting that happened in Philadelphia over the weekend. 14 people, 11 people were shot, 3 were killed. And we could go on and on about shootings that happen in cities. You know, we get to hear very famously how much shooting there is in Chicago, even though it's not even the place where the most shooting happens. It's like the media has fixated on Chicago. Thus, Republican politicians have fixated on Chicago. Not actually fixing Chicago. No, they're not focusing on fixing it. They focus on using it as a talking point. That ain't the same thing. It's tough to listen to people talk about babies getting shot at school because we all have babies. That's why it's tough to have that conversation. And we all can imagine what it's like not to have those babies come home. I said, Tim Black, why is it that people don't feel the same way when there's black people getting shot in the street by other black people? Why aren't we having the same conversations? Why is it Matthew McConaughey going to the White House at a press conference? There were 50 people shot last weekend. 50. There were 10 mass shootings. Where was Matthew McConaughey's speech? Where was AOC's Instagram Live about the corruption that allows this to happen? That's an important question to ask ourselves. I think we all know the answer to it. Some of us do. Some of us want to make excuses. That's sad. There's something inside of people that tell them when black people get shot, when black people have violence, they don't want to ask why. They just assume that black people are violent. But when a white kid shoots up a school and kills 11 children, now people saying, oh, this guy wasn't white. Okay, go back another couple whatever. A white-looking kid. If I saw him, I think it was a white kid. Okay? He's not, we don't want to take him. Okay, Columbine. Okay, fine. Can we agree Columbine? Okay, the shooting at the supermarket in Buffalo. That was a white guy. Okay. The point is this. I don't want to argue over this guy, if it's Spanish, if Latino, Mexican, whatever. I don't even know what his nationality is. In America, you're white or black or Asian. That's it. The point is this. There has been all types of conversation about what drove this white kid to do this thing. People want to have that conversation. They're talking about mental health. They're talking about all these things because they're looking for solutions, some of them, and I don't even want to say that people are not serious about solutions. I don't want to put that on anybody. Now, regardless of party, let's not be so vindictive, so callous, right? That we're saying people don't care about kids getting shot, that they don't care about babies being shot in their classroom. I don't think there's anybody, I don't want to put that on anybody except the most stringent racists. We can't have a conversation with anyone if you're going to just say they don't care about kids getting shot, okay? My point is this. All of a sudden it becomes a conversation about what's wrong with our society, what we need to do with our society to fix this, because this is abnormal. But when it is black folks, we don't have these conversations. Not on the national level. We have them in our communities. They don't get publicized. There are organizations all over this country, besides Black Lives Matter, that focus on crime in those inner cities. All over the country. You just never hear about them. People start looking for root causes. They look for root causes in situations involving young white men who kill innocent victims. But no one looks at root causes when it's black people. Because if you start looking at root causes of gang activity, it's lack of resources. It's getting a felony at 17 to 18 years old, and now no food stamps, no job applications, no one taking your job applications, no bank loans, no schooling, no government assistance, no housing. Like the floor disappears beneath your feet. And then the only thing left for you are the streets. And there is a lot of competition of other people who have been left to the streets. So no one wants to talk about the media. Let me not say no one. The media does not want to discuss causes to black violence. And I'm just saying black because there's Latinos and there are some white people living in the inner cities as well. I don't want to leave you out of the conversation because you experience it. There are people that experience it. But I'm saying the majority, 95%. So let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. America's not comfortable with talking about causes for us because that would mean they would have to do something for us. So as long as people like Warnock, which goes back to my original opener, guys, when I say these politicians like Warnock, Kamala Harris, many others, when they're not talking about black-specific issues, they're taking the focus off finding the solutions. Because we know what the solutions are. The solutions are resources, housing, 14% of the population, 50% of the homeless population, 50% of the incarcerated, 3.5 times more likely to die from childbirth, 3.5 times more likely to be shot by cops even when they are unarmed. These things are real numbers. We can talk about causes. Why did it happen? That's the most natural thing. Why did it happen? Why did they do this? This is heart-wrenching. This is heartbreaking. This is horrific. Why did it happen? No one wants to have that conversation. The media does not want to have that conversation when it pertains to black people, and it is hell of offensive. It is very offensive. I'm offended for you. Even if you're not offended, I'm offended for you. Because I've been having to look at this for the last 10 years of my life, watching the same thing play out. And then when I call these black politicians, the most powerful black people in our society are black politicians and business people. And when I call them out for not being able to say the word black, for getting on the national stage and saying, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to do anything particularly for black people. And then when I say, hey, that sounds like bullshit, you go, there you go, defaming a black woman. You're more concerned about her than you're concerned about us. You're more concerned about him than you're concerned about us. So the corruption issue is everywhere. But I just want people to recognize what we're dealing with and also how far it goes. And at the end of the day, based on my analysis, we most consistently get the short end of the stick.